For decades, I studied the men who built empires and forged dynasties. In all those years, I uncovered the timeless laws of achievement. Yet among all those principles, there is one I have long hesitated to share. It is an unspoken rule I observed in the lives of all great men, a secret so powerful and so dangerous in the wrong hands that I have come to see it as the great divider between those who drift through life and those who achieve their own destiny. This is not a principle you will find written in bold letters. It is the ghost in the machine of all great success. Through my association with the world's most successful men, the Carnegies, the Fords, the Edisons, I discovered that while they all possessed what I call a definiteness of purpose, they held that purpose with a silent iron grip. They understood a hidden psychological truth, that to speak of your great plan is often the very thing that guarantees its failure. This is not a matter of modesty. It is a strategic weapon, a psychological shield. Over and over, I have watched men and women with brilliant ideas shout their intentions from the rooftops, only to see their fiery ambition cool to embers. I saw them grow content with the praise they received before the work was ever done. I saw their definite purpose become diluted and twisted by the opinions of the world. And so I ask you, why is silence the ultimate weapon for forging your destiny? In this discourse, we will explore the timeless truths that I discovered through years of observation. And most importantly, I will teach you how to use this secret to shield your dreams from the poison of other people's opinions, and even from the weaknesses that lie hidden in your own mind. Have you ever been struck by a brilliant idea, a flash of inspiration so certain, so world-changing, that you felt you might burst if you did not share it? You have felt that burning desire to announce to the world, I am going to write a great novel, or I will build my own business, or this is the year I shall achieve perfect health. It feels like a productive first step, does it not? You have been taught that announcing your goals creates accountability. You may think that by putting your intentions into the world, you are enlisting a support team that will hold you to your word. This feeling, I have learned, is a trap. This urge to declare our purpose comes from a deep-seated need for social approval. The moment you speak your goal, you are not truly seeking accountability. You are seeking a quick, immediate reward for your grand vision. When someone replies, "What a marvelous idea," or "You would be a master at that," your mind receives a jolt of satisfaction. It feels like progress. For a fleeting moment, you are seen not as you are, but as the person you intend to become. And in that moment, you have accidentally traded a future of real achievement for a cheap moment of praise. Consider this. By sharing the goal, you gain an immediate return on an investment you have not yet made. You receive the admiration that should only belong to the person who has achieved the goal, not the one who has merely conceived of it. You are celebrating a victory before the battle has begun. I have seen this countless times. The world is filled with brilliant starters, men and women who are masters of the enthusiastic announcement, but amateurs at the silent follow-through. They mistake the map for the territory. But I have learned that talk is the currency of the drifter. Action, silent and relentless, is the currency of the doer. The drifter talks of the empire he will one day build. The doer lays one brick perfectly in silence, then another and another. This is not a personal failing. It is a feature of human nature. But the path to extraordinary achievement is often a lonely one, at least at its start. It requires you to operate without a gallery of applause. It demands that your validation comes not from the words of others, but from the quiet hum of your own purpose and the daily proof of your own progress. Therefore, the first step in mastering this secret is to see the urge to share for what it truly is, the psychological pitfall that satisfies the ego at the expense of the outcome. You must learn to sit with your ambition. Let it be a fire for one, a secret engine powering your actions long before anyone else knows the machine is running. What I discovered through a lifetime of observation, men of science are only now beginning to prove with their experiments. The danger of announcing your goals is a measurable neurological event. When you declare your purpose, you trigger what they now call social reality. I have learned that if you take a group of people and have half of them announce their goals to others, while the other half keep their goals to themselves, a startling pattern emerges. When both groups are then put to the task of working toward that goal, those who kept their ambitions private work with relentless determination. But those who announced their intentions quit far earlier, having done substantially less work. And yet they report feeling closer to their goal. Why is this so? Because the simple act of being acknowledged by others gives the mind a premature sense of completion. The public statement created a false reality in which they already felt like a success. Their identity was partially fulfilled by words alone, which destroyed their urgency to fulfill it through action. The mind, you see, operates on a system of rewards. It is driven by the pursuit of an objective. When you perform a difficult task that moves you closer to your definite purpose, your mind gives you an internal reward. It provides a feeling of satisfaction that encourages you to continue. This is the healthy cycle. Effort leads to progress, which creates a reward, which then fuels more effort. But when you announce your goal and receive social validation, the praise and encouragement of others, you are hacking this system. You receive the reward without the commensurate effort. Your brain registers this social approval as a form of progress. You have essentially enjoyed the dessert of achievement before you have eaten the dinner of hard work. And what happens when one is full from dessert? The appetite for the main course is lost. The mind, having already received its reward, dials down your motivation. The burning desire, which I have long taught is the absolute starting point of all success, feels less like a wildfire and more like a cozy hearth. You feel content with your goal, but you feel less compelled to suffer for it. The energy that should have gone into silent, focused action was spent on the cheap thrill of premature recognition. This is the unseen enemy. It operates within your own mind. I have always said that an idea is a fragile spark that must be nurtured in secret until it can become a great flame. If you expose that spark to the open air too soon, it is extinguished before it ever has a chance to catch fire. While this internal enemy is busy sapping your motivation, an army of external forces is waiting to dismantle your ambition. This brings me to the second and perhaps more sinister reason for this secret. I call it the poison of opinion. When you keep your purpose to yourself, it exists in a pure and powerful state. It is a perfect reflection of your own belief, untainted by the fears and doubts of others. The moment you share it, you hand your masterpiece over to a committee, and I have never known a committee to create a masterpiece. Let me be clear about who is on this committee. Often it is the people who love you most, your parents, your spouse, your dearest friends. Their intentions may be pure, but their impact can be devastating. When you announce a bold and audacious goal, something far outside their own experience, their immediate reaction is often fear. Fear for you. They do not wish to see you fail, so they offer what they believe is helpful advice. Are you certain that is a stable career? Have you truly considered the risks? Perhaps you should start with something smaller. They are projecting their own aversion to risk onto your grand vision. Each question is a small chisel blow against the sharp edges of your definite purpose. They are not trying to tear you down. They are trying to protect you. But in doing so, they sand down your ambition into something more reasonable, more sensible, and ultimately more mediocre. Then there is the other kind of opinion, the one that springs from envy. When you announce your plan to rise above your current station, you hold an uncomfortable mirror up to those who have settled for less. Your ambition illuminates their lack of it, and a part of them, perhaps not even consciously, may wish for you to fail. For your failure would justify their own realistic path. This may come as a backhanded compliment. Well, it must be nice to have the time to chase a dream like that. Or it will be outright negativity disguised as just being honest. They will be the first to remind you of the statistics of failure. They will eagerly share stories of all the others who tried and failed at the very thing you are attempting. I have always taught that you must guard your mind against negative influences as you would guard a vault of gold. When you speak your purpose aloud, you are handing the keys to your mental vault to everyone you meet. You invite them to leave their muddy footprints of doubt all over the pristine floor of your belief. By keeping your silence, you create a sacred space where your idea can grow without interference. Your belief is not challenged. Your energy is not diverted into defending your vision. You give your purpose time to take root, to grow deep into your subconscious mind until it is no longer a fragile idea, but a mighty oak of conviction, unshakable by the winds of outside opinion. So if silence is the shield, what precisely is it protecting? It is protecting the absolute core of my entire philosophy, definiteness of purpose. This is the great principle, yet most people misunderstand it. It is not merely having a goal. Having a goal is passive. It is a wish. I would like to be wealthy is a wish. Definiteness of purpose is a decree. It is a cold, hard, specific obsession that must dominate your thoughts and direct all your actions. It is the decision, backed by unshakable faith, that a specific outcome will happen, followed by the relentless creation of plans to make it so. I learned this from the master of industry himself, Andrew Carnegie. Mr. Carnegie did not just hope to make good steel. He had a definite purpose, and every decision was aimed at that singular goal. Men like Mr. Carnegie and Mr. Henry Ford operated with a level of focused intensity that most people cannot even imagine. They did not dilute that intensity by seeking public opinion on their every move. Their purpose was a private furnace. To open the door is to let the heat escape. Think of Henry Ford's obsession with creating a V8 engine cast in a single block. His own engineers told him it was impossible. Had Mr. Ford announced this impossible plan to the world, he would have been buried in ridicule. Instead, he kept his purpose locked down. He simply told his team, produce it anyway. He worked in relative silence, not in terms of factory noise, but in terms of public chatter. His announcement was not a press conference. His announcement was the engine itself. This is the essence of the secret. True definiteness of purpose requires silence to gather its power. It is in that silence that your subconscious mind can truly go to work on the problem without the noise of conflicting opinions. The only exception I have ever made to this rule of silence is the mastermind. This is another idea that is widely misunderstood. A mastermind is not your group of friends to whom you announce your goals for accountability. A true mastermind, as I have defined it, is a small, carefully selected alliance of two or more minds working in perfect harmony toward a definite purpose. The key words are carefully selected and perfect harmony. Your partners must be completely sympathetic to your aim. Their own success must be tied to your success. Within this tiny trusted circle, sharing your purpose does not leak energy, it multiplies it. But even then, the purpose is held in the strictest confidence by the group. The mastermind simply creates a larger fortress, but the drawbridge remains up. So the secret is not to never tell anyone. It is to never tell the wrong anyone. It is to understand that your purpose is a treasure, and you do not hand a treasure map to a stranger. For all others, you must let your actions do the talking. Now, how do you put this into practice? This is not mere theory. It is a practical strategy you can begin using this very day. I will give you the step-by-step method for using this powerful secret. First, decree your purpose in writing and in secret. You must take your vague desire and make it specific. Do not write, "I want to be rich." You must write, "I will have in my possession on the first day of January, 2 years from now, the sum of $1 million. In return for this money, I will give the most effective service of which I am capable as a world-class marketing consultant." Be specific. State what you intend to give in return for what you desire. This is not a mere note. It is what I call a decree, a command to your subconscious mind. Once it is written, do not post it for the world to see. Put it somewhere private where only you will see it every day. This is a classified document between you and your ambition. Second, create a ritual of silent reinforcement. Belief is a muscle. It must be exercised. Twice a day, upon arising and before retiring, go somewhere quiet. Close your eyes and repeat your written statement aloud to yourself. As you do, you must see and feel and believe you are already in possession of your goal. This is not idle daydreaming. It is the deliberate programming of your subconscious mind. When you do this in total privacy, you create a pure, unadulterated feedback loop of belief. Your conviction will become weatherproof. Third, if you must speak, form a true mastermind. You must recognize that 99% of the people in your life are not candidates for your mastermind. A true partner is incredibly rare. Such a person must believe in you completely, benefit from your success, and possess the wisdom to offer real knowledge, not just empty praise or destructive criticism. A business partner, a true mentor, or a spouse who shares your vision without reservation. These are your potential masterminds. Until you find such a person, your default setting must be total secrecy. It is far better to walk alone than with someone who tries to pull you from your path. Fourth, let your first announcement be action. You must channel all the energy you would have spent talking into doing. Is your goal to write a book? Do not speak of it. Write the first chapter. That is your announcement. Is your goal to start a business? Do not talk about the plan. Register the business. Build the first product. Make the first sale. Let your actions create small, undeniable facts. These facts are the very food your belief needs to grow. You're building momentum quietly. Success is like a snowball built by quiet, consistent rolling, not by announcing the avalanche you hope to one day create. Fifth and finally, persist in silence when you encounter defeat. Every great success story is a story of pushing through temporary defeat. When you work in secret, your failures are also private. You are spared the humiliation and the chorus of "I told you so." A private failure is merely a data point. It is a lesson. It is a chance to adjust your plan without the peanut gallery telling you the dream was foolish from the start. Silence gives you the space to be wrong, to recalibrate, and to try again without losing 1 ounce of faith. The great achievers I dedicated my life to studying were not magicians. They were masters of their own minds. They understood that a great purpose is a powerful and delicate thing. It must be conceived in passion, but it must be nurtured in silence. Your grandest ambitions are not for public consumption. They are not material for conversation. They are a sacred contract between you and your future self. You can spend your finite energy broadcasting your intentions, seeking applause, and defending your dreams from an army of doubters. Or you can channel every ounce of that energy inward, building a silent internal pressure so immense that the only possible release is through massive, focused, world-changing action. The choice is yours. Will you be the vocal dreamer whose goals evaporate in the warm air of conversation? Or will you be the silent doer whose accomplishments eventually speak for themselves with a roar that shakes the very ground your critics walk on? Embrace this secret. Guard your purpose. Do the work when no one is watching. And then, when the time is right, let your success be the only announcement you ever need to make. Work in silence. Let your success make the noise.